Hello, Catherine, are you there?
Yep, I am. I was just going to say, I hear you, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know. This be yet another time in which we have to rub our stomachs and pat our heads at the same time in order to find the right meeting?
Maybe. Yeah, it seems like this is the right one. That's what I went back to and saw there was a email. Matter of fact, it's the only one I see, the latest one of the 8, not the only one, but the latest one of message number 8. And it said something about she missed the date and time or something like that, but this is what I have it down as. And I'm also trying to look through today's round of the CUP legal subcommittee, that intro language. I can't find the attachment. So that's part of it. We get all of these extra threads, meaning the extra communication in these email threads, and I can't actually find the doc. So were you able, have you had a chance to see if that's today's stuff? Have you had the chance to
No,
see?
I haven't looked at the document yet. I think it's probably attached to, let me look at my email.
Well, I'm looking for it on Sam's, but I'm not seeing it on Sam's. And that's one where he says the one attached by Ginny in bold and et cetera, but I'm either missing a prior email thread. I'm not seeing it. Which.
Yeah, I have it. It looks like.
Okay, so what's
let me
the timestamp of your email? I have 11:33.
hold on for a second.
Unless it's all the, oh, you know what? There it is.
It's all the way down at the bottom.
All the way at the bottom. Yep.
Yep. 11:33.
So do you remember when they changed that? So that, because it's at the bottom of a December 2012 50 p.m. email. I remember when they changed where the docs are now at the bottom of these buggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, it's all the way down at the bottom.
Rah-rah.
but I haven't looked at it. I'll just mark this as unread and go back to it later.
Next. Okay, well,
Yeah.
today's meeting, as I understood it, and we are being recorded, not that there's any reason to be concerned about that, but I thought we were in part, I thought we were going to review the draft for Thursday. Do you, there too, I must have missed the agenda all the way down at the bottom of the thread because I didn't see that either, although I know I saw the email that alluded to it.
So I don't see any, because Inga has sent out a couple times a day of meeting,
Right?
new Zoom links.
Yep.
Oh, that was for the joint CUP legal committee. I don't see any emails from her in the last day or so. I know this meeting was scheduled to start at 3 and go to 5 because she wanted extra time.
Yes.
But it's odd that we're now 10 minutes into the meeting. And
We definitely don't have a quorum, so we're going to count that, right?
No one else is here.
No.
But I don't know who started the recording.
Oh, there's Inga. We got Inga. Yay. I was just going to ask you, I was on the computer last night. I think it was 11:57, whatever. It wasn't, I don't know that that's a timestamp, but it was really late when the small 354-page document comes storming into my inbox. I'm like, oh my God, you better take the next 2 days off of work. That's a hefty doc. I knew it was going to be big, but yeah. I like all of the very polite statements of this is still being vetted or this is still being revised, or I think it was well written, just the few pages at the beginning that I got to. So I saw one typo at the beginning, but it's not essential here in this space. Format looks nice though. So way to go. Rah rah for Inga, or Ms. Williams, as we called you last night.
Yeah, being very formal.
Yes, it's always that odd space, many hats.
Yes.
Anyhow.
Well, Daniel was up till like 11:30 finalizing that.
Oh,
so Sam
sure.
can send it out.
Right, I'm sure. And
yeah,
it's a big lift. I completely can see that. And we, as you heard last night, we know it's coming. I didn't realize till last night that the Planning Commission would be reviewing it, although it makes some sense. I just didn't realize that until last night. And it's going to be good to get to the end of a really well done, very, very in-depth process. I just think it's going to be beneficial in the end. It's just an awful lot. By this point, I was giving Director Nichols, I was giving him a hard time last night. I'm like, if you told me this was going to be this many meetings, I might have said no.
Well, I kind of got to that point too. It was like we had the first 2 subcommittee meetings, and then Sam was like, oh, well, we need to schedule the meetings for blah for this segment of, and I'm like, what?
Right. Well, and
wait a minute.
For all of the process, it's keeping us pretty well within the bumpers, right? I mean, we keep moving forward. It's just it's coming. It's coming. So, and considering the amount of extra work that you are being tasked with and work that isn't part of our normal parts of our lives, meaning it's not a 9-to-5 sort of obligation, it's what's happening outside of those spaces in plenty. And obviously, I know you guys are putting in extra time too.
Well, I'm getting paid for it at least. You guys are all volunteering.
That's helpful, but it still takes time, right? And it does also take time away from other things. So
it does.
It'll be good. But yes, I'm not sure how I'm going to squeeze 354 pages in. I probably won't. We'll be doing some. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're going to make a good effort, but that's a pretty hefty lift by Thursday.
I think I was looking back at my emails, and Sam said he was a maybe for this meeting. And I looked at when I sent it out, and I think I forgot to include Jeff. So I don't know that Jeff even knows this meeting's going on.
Okay, and we think that Ed is still either floating on a boat somewhere or hiking in some fantastic trek, either snowy or not snowy, depending on where he might be.
He's definitely not back yet.
No, he is definitely not back
No.
yet. What, Mark, your thoughts, if you're willing to share them on, do we want to utilize some of this time? Do we just want to table it and go start working on that packet? I know, we're looking at not having Ed tomorrow, and really not, just as far as presenting. I'm not worried about it. It's not a formal presentation in the fact that, we're presenting before a board of directors times 50 and, all that. It's our work group and it's still in that working space. But, do we want to take the time and review anything right now?
Yeah,
or what do you think?
I don't know. It seems like we should talk a little bit about what you might talk about tomorrow.
What you might talk
What you might talk about tomorrow. But it's a little difficult to do without Mr. Condit here.
Right.
And I don't know, Inga, I sent you back some comments on the reformatted draft that you put together, and also on the start of some of the findings and recommendations. So I don't know, again, without having Jeff here, I'm not sure what's the appropriate pathway.
So Jeff updated me this morning that let me get to the email, because I asked him when he might be getting me back the document with all his comments.
Right.
And so he said he did his review and comments and sent it to Republic. And he anticipates the end of next week. Hopefully he'll get it back to us. Yeah. Which yeah, it's kind of hard on me too, because I had things that I need to reformat it again based on this other document that we're putting together.
So tomorrow, okay, obviously we're not finished, and obviously, we're missing, I feel like we're missing, whatever our other partner in this is Ed's perspective as well. Do we just be real about the fact that that's where we are, and here's where this document is at. Here's what the next steps are. They are in progress. And I think Sam also, like I said, has kind of alluded to that. And we know these, not just ours, we know some of the other subcommittee work. None of it's finished, right?
Right.
Planning Commission is supposed to have, Inga, help me, that's the 31st,
I thought we said.
31st, that's right. The 31st.
Planning Commission is supposed to have their comments back by the 31st.
Nope.
It's going to get delivered to the Planning Commission by the 31st.
Oh, I think we're having a meeting and they're actually going to discuss it.
Right.
Oh,
so
I
we're
see.
going to get it before that. Inga, the sooner the better. 354 pages.
Yeah.
We'll get it before that, and I think we carved out that space with the intent that that's the focus. It's a special meeting specifically for this, and then we have also kind of, I want to say placeholdered. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but correct me if I'm wrong, Inga, on the 7th, I think it is. So that
Yes.
following Tuesday as well, this is the priority topic of discussion. So the Planning Commission will look at it once or two meetings for discussion. We proposed last night to have, first it was just going to be the liaison. So I'm still fulfilling my community representative role, even though I'm on the Planning Commission. Andrew Struthers has been appointed as the Planning Commission liaison to this work, as has Liz Irish, right? Of course. And so those two will serve in that space, but we talked about the idea of possibly having somebody from all the first it was just the history subcommittee was, any of the subcommittees that on the front end were important, and Liz made a really important suggestion, which was maybe we should just have a representative from all subcommittees participate in that.
I think Sam going back and forth with Darren, suggested that just he show up to do the update.
That
But
Sam,
I don't know if anyone has decided that yet. Yeah.
okay, so in any case, we're going to get something very likely as far as feedback before the planning commission, and then deliberate,
Yes.
you know, whatever deliberation needs to be done. And then our recommendations come back by the 10th. Is that right, Inga? I just saw it in some document somewhere. Must have been last night's document.
Yeah, that big document has the
It's a
the whole
timeline.
time frame, yes.
And then the final, I have no idea. I have no idea what Sam's full process is between there.
March 24th.
Yeah, March 20 something is that final. So we'll have work in between there, I suspect.
Mhm.
To that end, I tried to at least share, I'm not sure if it was with Darren or if it was the planning commission members, just the fact that, you know, for our subcommittee, what we're seeing is that we may or may not, and Sam has mentioned this too in enough spaces, that we may or may not see a full consensus, but it will at least have a sense of what the subcommittee memberships are speaking or thinking. And then also, I really tried to encourage what I almost feel like is an equal need to look at those, what we are presently calling observations and recommendations, that they're gaps we've all stumbled along the way, you know, stumbled upon along the way, didn't really know that it's something we should look at, isn't officially part of our charge, but does seem that it is important to consider as whatever gets developed moving forward gets developed. So tried to just put a nudge in for that. And I do believe that those things are important. And if they get checked off the box and we can cross them off, that's super. But at least let's have the conversation on some of those observations and recommendations. So without Jeff's feedback, which is for public's perspective, with ours, I think, I don't think that any of, at least none of my opinions have changed so far on kind of where I'm leaning. What we put in this document so far, do we just present it as that's where we're at? Which is, you know, it's not dishonest. That's really where we're at. And we're still waiting some feedback that's pretty essential to finishing this up.
You're talking about for tomorrow's meeting?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I think that's what you say. I mean, it's been a very long slog to get to where we are. Jeff was gone for part of the time when he was on vacation, and now apparently whatever's been done has been reviewed and is in some process of review with Republic. So I don't know what more we can say about that. Except there, you know, I don't know. It all depends on, I guess, on how Republic comes back and what kind of detailed comments they have, or contrary perspectives, or how it's all going to play out. Hard to predict at this point.
Right. Okay, and then Inga, just a question for you, because you may have different perspective or insight than we do. The MOU, are we even bringing that into this conversation Thursday? Like we haven't talked about that with this group. And
No, I don't think it's coming up Thursday.
okay.
We're talking about the
I'm not really-
2002 MOU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how it's going to get woven into this.
Sure, it's out there, right? So we know
Right.
it's out there. It's just, okay. So we're really not at any place even to.
It was supposed to get discussed last week when
Right.
we had the joint
On the
meeting.
11th.
We didn't have enough time.
Yep.
So I don't know when it's going to get discussed next, if it will be.
Well, and so in going through the emails and stuff, I haven't had a chance yet to look at Ginny's proposal as far as the introduction piece, although I see that you and Greg and I think Sam all were in favor of the way that was drafted, but literally I
thought it was a little convoluted. It could have been much in a little plainer speak, but
Okay.
it got the point across. If a little bit more
I haven't
technical
looked
than
at
I was hoping for.
I haven't looked at it yet. I did see that it was many, many sentences long, which is not really what I was hoping for from the beginning. And part of what we talked about when we had our joint meeting, it's like, yeah, so that kind of, so I'm not going into it too excitedly because it's so
Right.
long.
Well, and
But-
to Inga, your point, and even what you just said, Mark, that was one of the things we talked about, is how do you convey the message of the perspective of which we're viewing this work in plain English, right? In just every day. I'm not a planner. I'm not a, I'm not a city employee. I'm not somebody that's, in a career path in this space. Just the average person that's going to walk into this for the first time and go, oh, that makes sense. And I think that was one of the things that we were really leaning towards in the beginning. So I guess we need to take a look at that. But I will just say that if I'll leave it to the consensus of this group, but if we don't think we have anything pressing, I would like to get to that 354 pages, especially ours, and take a look at that and get a sense. And Mark, as far as tomorrow, I'm happy to do a joint presentation, happy to take it on by myself, as I know you would be happy to take it on by, I'm fine with that because we're still in that space. Like I'm not worried about, do you know the material? I think we know the material. So for me, it's just a matter of let's take a look at what that current is and how it's being woven into the rest, because I see that like the tables and stuff, well, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't even opened the document, the large document up from Sam from last night. I haven't looked at it yet. I will be looking at it. I will be looking at the landfill capacity one.
Yeah.
And I will probably glance at the legal one. I will probably focus first on the land use one and the landfill capacity because I've actively participated in both of those. And what we say might be dependent on what did everybody put in there?
Sure.
Since I haven't looked at it yet, I don't know, it could be, okay, yeah, this is the state of the document and it's sufficiently caveated to say, this is an initial draft and, we don't, it's going to change from what it is now. And I'm not exactly sure what Sam is asking the work group to do with draft number 1. I don't know whether he's asking them to read it, because the other thing that's difficult, and we all know this, is once you get to reading draft number 42, it gets a little bit tedious.
Right.
When I was looking through, the reformatted work that Inga did, it was like, oh my God, give me a headache here, because we spent hours and hours and hours working on the document that Ed put together. And then I appreciate what you did to reformat it, Inga, but it was like starting over to a certain degree for me. And that was challenging.
Yes. How about just yes?
Yeah. Well, it kind of depends on what it says.
We have BCTT fatigue. Do you think that's an actual syndrome? It might be by now. And so
I think it is. Yeah. And
so
the other thing is, I don't know what the schedule or the agenda is for tomorrow. I think I told you I have to go to another board meeting that's in Albany at 5:30.
Yes.
So I will be leaving the room no later than probably about 10:05.
I'll have Sam put us up front. So no, I think that our group starts at 5 o'clock, and I think we're teed up first in that space.
I thought we were after lunch, after dinner.
Well, we are, but what I'm saying is I think we're first before the legal subcommittee. I think they come after us. At least that's how it's ordered. So it's us and then the legal subcommittee on that and I thought it started at 5, but again, I just took a quick run at those first few pages, so I might be incorrect there.
Might ask him to change that and put us first, just so that you two can.
So you don't get out of it that easy, Mark. Nice going.
Dang it. Well, actually, my meeting just got changed to 3. No, just
that's right. Sorry, can't make it. It's at 3. Either way, I don't.
Dinner's at 5. Subcommittee report for us
5:30.
is at 5:30.
That's right, and we're 110 minutes for the 2. So we're I think you told us 45 minutes. So that kind of.
Yeah. So what I can do tonight, Catherine, is I will focus energy on looking at what's there, what's been presented in the work group report, and I'll send you an email or or, something to sort of preview what I think we might want to be saying, and then we can huddle up at the start of the meeting.
Okay.
And that way, you can speak on the group's behalf. Again, Ed's not here, Jeff's not here.
So Inga, just make sure that that part of the recording gets really botched so that nobody can hear what I don't do well, because oh, oops, the recording forgot to get turned on after the dinner. I'm just going to ask you this question. So Mark, tomorrow, do you want to just check in the morning? I have a 9:30 appointment, I think, so I'd have to leave here about 9 o'clock. But if you're up and earlier or up, just want to touch base for half an hour or so.
Yeah,
because from there on out, it's straight through for me. And if after you've gone through that, there's some key points that would be helpful for me to have any spare minutes to look at, because I can look at my
yeah, I will definitely be up and around. I got to coordinate something that I think is probably going to start at 9. So,
Okay.
but first thing in the morning is fine.
Okay.
This morning I was up at 5 working on
Yeah,
this stuff.
yeah.
So
There's that up space and there's that functional space for me. I don't know
Yeah.
about you. Let me. Eyelids are open and we're moving around, but this kind of heavy. I don't know, but I'd say after 7:30. Just whatever.
all right, that
there's
sounds good.
something- Yeah, if there's something that we think is urgent, then maybe just
I'll touch base with you.
yeah, and that
Okay.
way, it'll give me a little time to formulate it throughout the day, and then we're gonna land at 3 o'clock. I literally have stuff straight through, so we're gonna land in that space, and we're just gonna roll with it, and it'll
All
be
right.
fun.
And we can huddle up at 3 or a little before that.
Yep.
If
Yep.
if there's anything we need to go over.
Actually, and there is just a brief window potentially, so I will be not driving but riding, so there's those few moments we can grab beforehand too. We'll
Okay.
make it. It'll be good. So
I'll plan to be there by 2:45 at least.
yeah, I don't know if I can do that or not, but I can't be
Okay,
available
alright.
by phone, so
All right, sounds good.
we'll do that. And then is there anything else? And if not, literally, I'd rather we just start heading off into the direction or review of this for tomorrow. Unless somebody opposes that.
No,
Fine with me.
Okay. All right, then Inga, we'll see you tomorrow with all the sparkles on and all the hurrah, look at where we are. And Mark, we'll see you when we get there too and figure out what we need to coordinate. And I'm sure it'll be fine. And we're making it. We're almost there. March is
Yeah.
not that far away, right? It's just a 10-term class. Don't worry about it. We're almost there. Or
Okay.
10-week class. We're
Yeah,
almost
10
there.
10 terms. Yeah.
Wait,
It's-
Not 10
yeah,
terms. That was
10
a very,
terms. Yeah.
very inconvenient misspeak.
Yeah. All
All
right. We'll
All
see you
right.
guys tomorrow. Yeah.
righty.
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.